Kathy.
And I'm Pat.
And we're Calm Sea Cruise. We're on a 6-night cruise to Cabo overnight and then a stop in Ensenada aboard the Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Sea. It's day 4 and we're just about to head to the main dining room, but wanted to tell you about our evening last night and everything that's happened so far today.
Well, last night we stopped at the Schooner Bar. Has become our habit for our dinner drink. It was the usual crowd, nice group of people that we've began and kind of met. We headed down to the American Icon Grill, where we took our usual seat and prepared for our dinner, which was Caribbean night, I believe.
Yes, it was the Taste of Caribbean. And we really like the main dining room since we get to have the same waiter and the same seat, and the food is really great. And I got to have, for my appetizers, it was the Asian-style pork bao tacos, which I didn't really like that much. There was some weird stuff inside that didn't taste like it should in the tacos. But my main meal was much better. That was the garlic herb butter tiger shrimp. Yum! I love shrimp, but Pat is allergic to shellfish, so I have to make sure I keep far away from him. And then for dessert, I had the pineapple sunshine cake. It's similar to the upside down pineapple cake, if you've ever had that before. But yeah, I love it. I love desserts, so always a win with me.
For dinner, I had the pork bao buns as well, and had the same sort of grittiness of the buns. I think they steamed them weirdly, and they got kind of off. So again, not my favorite. For the main, I had the jerked seasoned pork chops, which were really good. They were very Caribbean and very good. For dessert, I had one of my favorites, carrot cake, and it was very tasty. So very good for dessert. After dinner, we went ahead and took a stroll down the Esplanade and sort of walked around, and the ship was very empty. A lot of folks still out in Cabo as the ship was overnighting, so they could stay out pretty much as late as they wanted to. We ended up going in the Amber and Oaks pub, as you can see kind of at the end of the hall there, and took a look in there and sat down at the bar after we looked at the menu, but we had just eaten dinner, so I don't think we were too interested in the food there, but they do offer food for a small price that you can get there. You can see the menu there on the bar. Had a few drinks there, and then it was time for our show, which was Spectra's Cabaret. Boy, this was an interesting show, full of in the 227, so the after the ship, very interesting. Lots of lights and effects that are done in there. The 227 has movable video panels that they can do all kinds of things. There was lots of music and dancing and just lighting effects that made it quite spectacular. Again, I didn't quite understand the story. I don't think anyone who went there understood the story, but again, I don't think it really mattered. It was all about the show quality and the effects, and you can see some of the things they can do with the panels in 227. It's really technologically quite fabulous. After the show, we did our kind of usual hunting for snacks, which we tend to do as it gets a little bit later.
Spaghetti.
Some spaghetti, maybe some cookies. Who knows? Maybe another drink or two, if the mood feeds us. And then we went back to the cabin, and with a forward-facing cabin, you get some incredible views. And again, we're overnighting in Cabo, so you got to see the lights of Cabo.
It was just beautiful. Oh my goodness.
See some of the boats that are there, and again, it's overnighting. So the the folks could stay out as late as they want. You see some of the crew on the bow of the ship just kind of enjoying the same view. Again, it's only the second time that the ship has been in Cabo, so it's new for the crew too, but really, really spectacular. And that was pretty much the end of our evening, and it was pretty much the end of the night at that point.
And then, yeah, we went to the American Icon Grill, the main dining room, for breakfast. You can see the menu here. So a really nice alternative to just going to the Windjammer, be able to actually sit down to a formal kind of breakfast. And you can see our beautiful view right from our table. And because everyone else was in Cabo, you could see it was very empty. So we had pretty much the dining room.
The people were sleeping off their day in
ourselves.
Cabo from the day before.
Yeah,
So
and I had some fresh fruit for breakfast. I love their fruit. It's super sweet, very delicious. So I like to have that every morning. And then I just had, with my fruit, I had toast and peanut butter and jelly, which was good as well. And yeah, that was it for me for my breakfast.
yep, and I pretty much had sort of a typical breakfast that you might have. I had some eggs and a little triangle hash brown, and some sausage and toast, and it was, it's fine. It's typical breakfast fare, and with that, we were pretty much ready for our turn to go over to Cabo. Now, it was fairly early. It was what was it, 8:30, 8:45, something
Yeah,
like that.
mm-hmm.
So we knew it wasn't going to be super busy over in Cabo, and we knew we probably were going to run into some things that weren't going to be open, but it was nice and it was quiet, and we just walked right down to the tender
Super
and
smooth.
just
right?
walked right over, right on the tender boat. And these are local tenders that took us, so it wasn't like one of the ship's tenders. It was one of the local tenders that were there, and went right over. You could see a little bit of the footage that I took on the way over as we went into the harbor, and went ahead and docked and got off the boat. It's a nice trip. Probably took all of I don't know what, 5-6 minutes to
Yeah, not very long.
tender over. The seas were nice and relatively calm. You can get a little shot of the harbor. That's one of the tender boats over there. Not too many people here. Still, the vendors were just kind of waking up. The shops were open for the most part. The bars were not. Again, 9 o'clock's pretty early.
But we had a beautiful view of the water right there with the boats, and really walked along. And then we're able to see this cool surfboards at the end there. Pretty cool. And then really we kind of walked back to the shops. You can see it was starting to get a few more people, but a beautiful view. And then we did get to, again, walk to the shops. Senior Frogs was closed, but the stores were open, and we had one of the vendors saying, come in and see. You could see the gentleman there, and walked in, a real big smell of leather. It was, we were able to purchase here. You can see our purchase, this nice little ceramic
nice little tray.
Yeah, and then that was kind of our morning, and headed back to the ship, and you can see it there.
Yeah, we were in Cabo for about an hour. Didn't spend too much time there, but it was nice to get off the ship and over and visit, and a lot of the Mexican Riviera cruises will stop in Cabo. In fact, most all of them will. When we headed back on our tender, a lot of I didn't include the sound, but there was a lot of the music was thumping on the way back. The party boats were getting going. The Carnival Firenze had followed us into port, which I think we'll get a little bit of a view of eventually as we turned around. Cabo is a 100% tender port. I don't think it can really do a deep water access to even build a dock without really doing dredging. So I think this is always going to be a tender port. There's a nice view of our ship, Ovation of the Seas, as we pulled in for the tender. This got a little bit a little bit challenging for the tender to get off. It had that chop again, or listing that the ship was doing, that it was doing the day before. So to get off the ship, you had to kind of time your step. It went from anywhere from about 18-inch step to a 0-inch step. So had to kind of time it.
But then we went back to the ship, and we did an activity. It was the napkin-folding artistry. So you could see our beautiful artistry there.
Yes, I was very artistic with our napkin
But it was
folding.
fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Something to do when we came back from Cabo. And then we walked around the ship afterwards, and here you can see the
there you
view
go. There's
that Pat was talking about.
Carnival Firenze. That's one of the Costa ships that Carnival sort of repurposed into one of the ships that is permanently ported over in L.A. And it was followed us pretty much the whole trip. We saw it on the way back to L.A. It was following us. And that was pretty much our day in Cabo. I think we ended up coming back in our cabin, and had our steward had made a nice towel animal. I don't know. I guess that is
It's a dog.
It's a dog. I guess it's a dog, and we had some laundry, which it was the day that you could do cheap laundry.
And just thank you everyone for joining.